Hey, it's Mazzy. Welcome back. I'm going to do a video on one record that came out in 1974. And just like this record that barely made the top 40 when it came out 51 years ago, this video I just know won't get as many views as it should because this video is about Randy Newman's Good Old Boys, 1974, so 51 years ago. Now, I'm coming at this from two different sides, why I'm showing this record. To me, this is sort of the perfect record for the times we are in 2025 when I'm recording this. This is a record of social upheaval, of racism, of political intensity. This mocks the rednecks, the racists of the South, but it doesn't leave the Northerners off the hook. It sings about the hypocrisy of the North as well. So everyone gets their shots. Randy Newman takes shots at everyone in this record. And very much like Randy Newman, this record that, just didn't quite make it in terms of sales and making Randy Newman a star. It's an important record and as relevant today as it ever was, especially in 1974. And I don't even have to spell that out for you. But I'm going to go through some of the songs on here and talk about this record. The other side that this record came to me is because on a Facebook group, on the Rhino Hi-Fi Facebook group, someone today posted a poll. Apparently Patrick Milligan, Rhino A&R, who works on the Rhino High Fidelity audiophile issue releases that are really kind of a wonderful series, Kevin Gray cuts, hinted or even stated that soon there's going to be at least one 50th anniversary record coming out. And in that Facebook group, someone posted a poll listing 40 albums that came out in 1975. And they listed this album. I would love this album. The audience won't love it. It wouldn't be a big seller. They all friggin' want Led Zeppelin. Give me a friggin' break. I think one of the best things they've released is the Graham Parsons' Grievous Angel from 1974 as well. So you see where I'm coming from. Emmylou Harris too. Yes, I love the Stooges. Yes, I love the Doors. Yes, I love the Black Sabbath. But I see these great recorded records, just getting that little extra scotch of something that maybe Kevin can get out of the tapes. But I am probably in the minority on this. But someone mentioned this record, but it didn't come out in 1975. So that was an error on that pollster's part. Fake news, fake polls, fake voting. What do I know? But I would love a Rhino Hi-Fi of this record. Now, I want to talk about this record musically, culturally, just how wonderful a record and how controversial it was when it came out too. And I think it's held its own. This is a promo copy I got in 1974. That was the first year I worked at this one store called the Record Factory. And we played this record to death in the store too. It's controversial. A lot has to do with not just the subject matter at the time. Of course, this is the year Nixon resigned as well. This is 2 years after my favorite Randy Newman album, Sail Away, although this is a close second. Sometimes I prefer this. And it's a very accessible record. It's very commercially in style. In fact, Randy Newman talks about this. There's a song on here, Back on My Feet Again. He doesn't understand why that didn't become a hit, a top 10 hit. It's a great song. I believe it was issued as a single, but Back on My Feet has the hooks, it has the lyrics, it has the rhythm. It's just such a great record. This whole record is amazing. But the controversy, obviously, is the opening up of the song Rednecks. It takes the case, talking about from this character's point of view, of a Dick Cavett show that Randy Newman saw at the time of when Lester Maddox, look him up, interesting history, was on Dick Cavett show with Jim Brown, the football player. And it starts out with, last night I saw Lester Maddox on a TV show with some smart-ass New York Jew, and the Jew laughed at Lester Maddox, and the audience laughed at Lester Maddox too. Well, he may be a fool, but he's our fool. If they think they're better than him, they're wrong. So I went to the park and I took some paper along, and that's where I made this song. Talking about rednecks, you don't need your ass from a hole in the ground. Great song. He uses the N-word on this, which is very controversial, especially coming from a white liberal Jew at the time, anytime, obviously, This is the time when Richard Pryor was using that in his act. It was all over there. But, you know, there are certain words you just don't touch. And it got some heat from him. And to this day, he doesn't play that live just because he knows a lot of people won't understand the intent and where it's coming from. And he even talks about in the liner notes of this expanded CD that came out in 2002, and I'll get to that in a little bit, about a young black boy who saw him do a performance and didn't understand where he was coming from. And he talked to that fellow, you know, understanding that totally. But this is an amazing album entirely. Now in 2002, as I was just gonna mention here, 2002, this expanded edition came out. And disc 1 is the Good Old Boys remastered. Disc 2 is Johnny Cutler's Birthday. The whole premise of this initially, in the Genesis, was coming from this character named Johnny Cutler, and it kind of changed and evolved over the years. But in the expanded edition, there's a great essay in here by David Weil, but the intro is by Randy Newman. And I'm just gonna read the very beginning of that. Also included here is Johnny Cutler's Birthday. If I had a career to worry about destroying, I wouldn't let them put this out. It was never meant for anyone to hear. They should have waited until I was dead, like they did with Jimi Hendrix. Now, Randy Newman has come close to stardom in his own right. Of course, Short People is probably one of the most famous songs with I Love LA. Randy Newman never became the hit maker, the solo hit maker that maybe Reprise Records, Warner's, and even Randy Newman himself possibly envisioned him to be. But he became one of our great songwriters of all time and composers. All these wonderful movies, from The Natural to Avalon, You Got a Friend in Me for Toy Story, all those songs that were hits in that market, but not really, you know, he was almost anonymous in terms of those songs, in terms of people understanding who wrote the songs. It's from the animated digital cartoons of that time. But these songs, he's always come back to political intensity and a really kind of biting satire in all the songs. To me, again, the greatest songwriter continues to write these things to this day when he's done his albums and solo albums. But not only is Good Old Boys and, you know, mocking the rednecks of the South and racism, but again, as I said, he does take swipes at the liberals in their way, in the North too as well. One of the most beautiful songs on here is called Marie, and it's such a wonderful, arranged, slow core ballad. And again, the lush strings are written and conducted by Randy Newman. Birmingham's a great song. Now, there's a song on here that seems to me is perfect for our times as well. I mean, the whole album is. But this fourth song on here is called Mr. President, Have Pity on the Working Man. We've taken all you've given, but it's getting hard to make a living. Mr. President, have pity on the working man. We're not asking you to love us. You may place yourself high above us. Mr. President, have pity on the working man. I mean, look where we are in 2025. The illusion of helping the working man has not come to fruition. Guilty's on here. Now, side 2, a song that to me is one of Randy Newman's most beautiful and chilling songs, especially when you look back on it. Again, this is from 1974. In 2005, that song really came bubbling up again. It's called Louisiana 1927. That song came up, and Randy Newman was performing it after Katrina. What has happened down here is the winds have changed. Clouds roll in from north and it starts to rain. Rained real hard and rained for a real long time. 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. The river rose all day, the river rose all night. Some people lost in the flood, some people got away all right. The river has busted through Clear Town to Palaquimines. 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. Louisiana, Louisiana. They're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana. They're trying to wash us away. Trying to wash us away. And this is written about President Coolidge way back in the day. And when Katrina happened, this song was reborn again in a beautifully tragic way and chilling, really. Songs like The Kingfish, Naked Man, a great song, The Wedding in Cherokee County, Back on My Feet Again, as I said, should have been a hit. Closing out with a song called Rollin'. And of course, a who's who of LA studio musicians in the 1970s, from Andy Newmark on drums and Jim Keltner, Milk Holland on percussion, Ron Elliott on acoustic guitar, who was an original member of the Beau Brummels, Ry Cooder on electric guitar, of course, Al Perkins on pedal steel, Russ Titleman on here, great bass playing of Willie Weeks, Red Callender on bass, Glenn Frey, Don Henley, and Bernie Ledden on vocals. So you got the Eagles backing them up. On the cover is Huey P. Long. Google him. Finally, in 2022, Rhino collaboration, Run Out Groove, they don't exist anymore, put out the expanded version on vinyl, which is excellent. This is mastered by J Powell. So it's not a Kevin Gray cut. It's not a Chris Bellman cut. It's a J Powell cut. I assume this is from the digital cut. Sounds fine. Didn't do a comparison. I still like that first 74 version best, the OG here in this case. But it has the second disc, which I love the demo stuff. I'm a fan of demo things, of blueprints, if you will, of records that I adore, and this is one of them. It has a Randy Newman introductions and these great songs, Rednecks. If We Didn't Have Jesus, a song that wasn't on the original. Of course, The Joke also wasn't on the original. A few songs here, Dr. Doctor, Albanian Anthem. So it's a template of what this record was initially gonna be, but it's kind of a nice extra thing. I would love Rhino Hi-Fi to do a version of this. Obviously, at this point, it wouldn't be a 50th anniversary, and it probably wouldn't sell as what in one day like Black Sabbath, but I'd like it. So maybe a Rhino Reserve or something. I just think this is due for a reevaluation. We don't even have to reevaluate it because it's such a good record, and we're living it right now. We're living this shit right now. So thanks for watching. Go play some Randy Newman, America's most creative, politically charged, historically accurate, if you will, humorist who plays the piano and, in a way that entertains us as well. So what a funny guy Randy Newman is. What a great piano player, what a great composer. Randy Newman's Good Old Boys from 1974. Probably not a Rhino Hi-Fi. Mazzy loves you. Thanks a lot.